What's up, everyone? I'm CEO Connolly, and first, I'm going to say that my husband has asked me to move my office into the bigger room. So this little bitty, it's only because I just got that, but this little bitty tiny room will end up being bigger. And it's only because he wanted to turn one of the rooms into his gun room. And he doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff. Like, he has a gun cabinet and, several other things and stuff like that. But he doesn't really know how to fill up that space. And he thinks that the smaller room would be better for him. So I'm like, okay. So now everything's going to be more spread out and not so compact right here, which is fine. Anyway, so my office will probably be moving, so a bunch of this will be different. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I have seen, with dating in the real world. First of all, I have written books about crazy people on dates, right? If you have read Killer Suburbia, you have seen that. Yes. And of course, Forbidden Affair is about a crazy guy who believes he is in a relationship with the girl, so he kidnaps her. And then, The Disciples, my cult series, has a bunch of people, but that's neither here nor there because, you just can't leave the cult. It's okay if you're a connected partner. Anyway. So here's my thing. And I've seen a lot of people talk about, dating apps, this and that, blah, blah, blah. This is something that I have thought about. Back in my day, and yes, I'm going to put it that way, we met people in person. That's how we started dating. You start talking to someone and it's like, hey, you're cool. Want to go out? That's how that worked. As a matter of fact, my husband and I, we went to the same high school. Didn't really know each other. We actually were at the same parties. Didn't even know that. As a matter of fact, there's one party that I remember where, since I was always the sober one, as a matter of fact, apparently he was always the sober one at these parties too. So there was a party mom and a party dad, which is so weird because we never actually knew each other, but it was because we were doing two completely different parts of the party. I was inside taking care of those that were barfing all over themselves. And he was outside trying to stop fights that were happening at these parties while the children were drunk, right? And it was always at a friend's house whose parents were there. So that was fun. But they were also drunk and out of their minds. But anyway, so my husband and I actually went to these same parties. Didn't know that. At one time I went to Corpus with a bunch of friends. This is after high school. And we met up with this guy that somebody knew. And it happened to be my husband. At the time, we didn't really know each other. We were just talking, blah, 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 whatever. And then later when we got back, I had seen him at a Denny's because, that was the hangout back then. Whatever. And I had walked up to him and I was like, hey, because I thought he was cool. So I gave him my number and I was like, call me. And he was like, yeah, you too. Right. And I was like, thank God he gave me his number because back then most guys were like, I didn't want to call because I didn't want to seem desperate. So they wait a little longer. Right. And it's like, no, I'm not going to wait. Hey guy, what's going on? So I called him to see if he wanted to go out. So we went out. Her first date, as a matter of fact, if anyone remembers Tropical Storm Allison, and if you look it up, Tropical Storm Allison that hit Houston, that was 2001. It had to be 2001 because we were married in 2002. So anyway, Tropical Storm Allison was our first date. We went to dinner. We were going to go to a movie, but by the time we got out, the roads were flooding. So we went back to my apartment and watched a movie there. As a matter of fact, it was Dumb and Dumber. And he ended up having to stay the night. Oh, his mother was so mad. He ended up having to stay the night, right? Anyway, that's basically how we started dating. Blah, blah, blah. That was June 12th of 2021. We were married by February 23rd of 2002. Not 2021. Did I say 2021? No, 2001. That was June 12th, 2001 was our first date. We were married by February 23rd, 2002. There. Anyway, so, but that's how we used to meet, That's how we met potential people to date, right? So nowadays it's on an app. And I feel like the two should kind of intermingle in a way, because most people met in a friend group, right? And it's like, hey, have you met my friend? Hey, have you met my friend? And then they start dating, blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. Whether or not it turns out to be shit or a great relationship, that's just how it works out, right? But I think that the apps and dating in real life should kind of intermingle, okay? I feel like women, especially since dating is unsafe and you never know who you're meeting on a fucking app. Let me put it that way. You never know who you're meeting on the internet, because most of these people are fucking crazy. And they do it on the internet because it's easier to murder you from an app, right? It's harder when people see you leave a place with somebody because now you're caught. You're caught on camera, whatever, right? But if you meet someone on an app and then you meet in a secluded place and then you're murdered and then now nobody knows what happened because all they know is that you met some guy you met on Bumble, right? I don't really know. That's the only app I know of. It's Bumble and Grindr is the only two apps that I know of. I don't really know how they work. I've never had to use them. I've never even downloaded them. I've never had to, because by the time those apps came out, I'd already been married for God knows how long. So anyway, so I think that women, when they are trying to find a date, they should actually invite several different guys to a specific meeting place, a restaurant, whatever. If it's nice weather outside, y'all can all sit outside on the patio or whatever. Maybe I'll sit inside. It's a bar, you're having drinks, whatever, right? And it's kind of like speed dating. So she gets to go through and talk to every single one of these guys and weed out the weirdos. And on top of that, you will actually find one of the guys will probably be a gentleman, because when one guy starts creeping you out and you keep trying to get away from him, one of the nice guys will probably come over and go, hey, I think she's had enough, let's go ahead and let her go. And I feel like that way it'll be a little easier to find the nice guy and you'll know who's actually looking out for you. So that's the one that you sit and talk to, right? That makes sense. And my thing is that if guys realize that they're going to a group date, if they're not worth your time, they'll leave. Bye, I don't know. I feel like that just seems like the safest thing to do to a group date, And it's easier because you're not having, especially with women, you're not having your other girlfriends around who are probably single. And, you're going to meet this one guy and maybe this guy ends up hitting it off with your friend. And it's like, bitch, he was here for me. I'm just saying, because, bitches be crazy. But you have to think of safety and shit, right? Like, because I write some of the craziest shit. I really do. I write some of the weirdest shit, and it's mostly people meeting together. And you'll meet somebody, some stranger or something. You never know if they're going to put something weird in your drink. At least if you're in a group, somebody's going to notice if somebody put something in your drink. It's safety in numbers, right? And you'll find, like I said, you'll find the nice guy because he'll be the one who comes over and says, hey, she said that you're not compatible. Maybe it's time for you to go. So you'll find someone and then it'll end up being this, oh my God, I like this guy. He's so sweet, blah, blah, blah. And I know that not always is the sweet guy the right guy, because I've seen these true crime things where it was like, but he was so sweet. I wasn't expecting him to beat on me, So I'm just saying, safety in numbers. And you have to, and not only that, but I really wish, because I have seen a lot of these videos where people have talked about they've, had conversations with the guys on these apps. And when the conversation gets to a point where it's like, dude, you're weird, and they try to let them down easy, that's when the guy comes out and is all like, well, I didn't want to see you anyway, bitch. It's like, okay. If you're in public and you have these conversations. At least that way, when they get a little unruly, there's going to be other guys over there to help you out. I don't know. I have no idea if that'll work. It just makes sense. Have a group date, 5, 10 guys, whatever. You meet them out in public. I don't know if people still meet each other out in public anymore. Have no clue. It's so unsafe for women to go out these days. You never even know exactly how something's going to work out, right? So essentially, be safe. Don't date weirdos. And if they try to start the conversation with some random ass pickup line, please give them a chance. They're being cute, or trying to anyway. If it turns out to be one of those pickup lines where it's like, hey, is that shirt a little tight on you? Because I'd like to see them titties. Now it's time. No. Cut them off right then. Block out. No, we're done. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. That was just the first thing that came into my head. I have no idea if anybody's ever used that, but if they have, gross. Anywho, all I'm saying is, I write books. I write horror novels, and there's a lot of creepy dudes out there. There really are, okay? In Forbidden Affair, the guy sniffs her hair as he's standing over her, behind her. He sniffs her hair. She's sitting at a table with her friends, and he still sniffs her hair. She very audibly hears him just as he leans into her. Weird! Ew! What the hell? I'm just saying. Shit is creepy. Guys can be creepy. Bitches can be crazy. Just be safe. Be safe out there dating. Don't go for the first guy, and you don't want to be alone. That's just how I see it. You don't want to be alone until you get to know that person in person. You can feel like you know them over conversation text, but you really don't because there's too many catfishes out there. So you don't really know if that person that you're messaging is the actual person that's in the picture. So there's that. Know that if you meet in a group, you're going to find people that you find physically attractive, and then you're going to also be able to find people that, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, that's the guy that tried to catfish you. So look into that. I'm just saying, I don't know if it'll work. It just sounded like a safe idea, right? Whatever. I know that if I were in a group date and my husband was one of the guys, he would definitely be paying more attention to the other dudes and making sure that nobody's trying to inappropriately touch me, because that would be nice. And that's just the kind of guy that he is. And I'm so glad that I was able to find him, because he is a great man. But we've also been married for 22 years, so he better fucking be, right? Anyway, that is all. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I don't give a shit. Do whatever the fuck you want. But I am here every Monday and Thursday, as long as my internet is working out for me. I basically just ramble and talk about shit that I want to talk about, and sometimes show you my books. I do have a new book coming out, and as soon as I receive a copy of it, I am doing a cover reveal. But other than that, I will see y'all in my next video. Okay, bye!